Hi, we're Baby Rat and you're watching NuMuze, What's in My Bag. I'm Jamie from Baby Rat and my first pick is This It by The Strokes. This is one of my favourite albums ever, and it brings me back to a very cool time where me and my buddies used to live together and we used to record versions of ourselves playing these songs. We'd record them up in my bedroom, we'd all take turns singing them, and yeah, I think it's one of my favourite sounds of music there ever is. Alright, so my second pick is AM by Arctic Monkeys, which is quite like a, it's one of those things that people say be your favourite Arctic Monkeys album if you weren't a real Arctic Monkeys fan, and that everyone else would want you to pick others. But this is the first album I heard by them. I was in my teens when I came across it. It was actually the first record I ever bought, was this. And then because I fell in love with this album so much, it then made me go backwards in their catalogue, and then I found all the other albums that everyone else would probably rather I pick for this, which are class. And I just thought it was so cool. I always called it like slick rock. I thought it was class that it sounded like such a mix of things, that it was rock music but it was real groove and, as I said, slick and cool and like a bit psychedelic at times. And yeah, it's probably the first time I wanted to be someone else.
It's just I'm constantly on the coast. I've tried and to kiss you. I don't know if you feel.
Sorry. My last pick is What's the Story Morning Glory by Oasis. This was probably the first band and album that I actually fell in love with, and this came just before I would have kind of started getting into Arctic Monkeys, and I think it's a real just like example of what a good chorus can do. It is like perfecting the art of the chorus, I think, is what this album is. It was all about what they say, like anthemic banging tunes. That's all it was. It was just like for a load of people to be doing that, in a massive field or whatever. Yeah, this changed everything. This was the turning point where I went from listening to just dance music and pop music to then listening to rock music and bands. And it was when I just started playing guitar that I started listening to this. So then all I was doing at that time was learning to play Oasis tunes. And then that then accidentally taught me how to write songs, because these are the songs I was learning from. And they learned from the Beatles. So then I learned from them. So it was it was a roundabout way of learning from the best. And yeah, I wouldn't be able to write tunes if I hadn't listened to this.
Hi, I'm Zoe from Baby Rat and this is What's in My Bag. This is first up, it's Amy Winehouse Back to Black. When I was growing up, I listened to a lot of pop music and rock music, and I knew all the classics, Back to Black and Tears Are on Their Own and all those songs, but then I think when I was about 15 or 16, I finally just listened to the album front to back, and it really just made me want to like sing. Like, I just made me really want to take singing that bit more seriously, and just her vocal performance and like the emotion behind her delivery, I really admired that. So this is a great album that I listened to a lot when I was in my teenage years, and I really idolised Amy, and still do to this day.
And I'm a tiny petty rolling up walls inside.
Second up, I have a classic. I have Doggerel by Fontaines DC. This just reminds me of when I was younger and my dad would try and put me onto loads of bands and he'd be like, you gotta listen to this. And I'd be like, whatever. And I remember him like sending me Boys in the Better-Land, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll listen to that later. And then I actually stumbled across it myself, like when time passed, and I was like, this is class. And my dad was like, yeah, I told you about that. So then we went to see them together in the Big Top in Limerick, which was pretty cool. I've seen them many times since, and all together now, and Three Arena as well. And they're always just such a brilliant live show, and I just really love the music they're creating. It's so cool. And then my third one is Classic, well, not really a classic, but it's a classic for me. It's Olivia Rodrigo, Guts, her second album. I really just think the whole rock chick thing that she kind of brought in was so cool. I like her songwriting. It's so like on the nose and kind of quirky with that kind of rock sound to it and kind of grungy. It's just a mix of everything that I aspire to do in my vocal delivery and my performance. Yeah, I really like just the difference in all the songs. Like some of the songs are like All American Bitch is such like a rock out tune, but then there's kind of more like tongue-in-cheek ones like Getting Back. It's kind of more like, you know, on the nose, cheeky, and I like that, and I really like Olivia, and I'm really excited for her new album.
Then I forget.